Yo, what's up? Dr. Swole here, MD, pro physique athlete. Today I'm going to be sharing a full 4-day hypertrophy program using the upper-lower torso limb split. Upper-lower is a popular split in bodybuilding, and it basically has you dividing your body up into upper body days and lower body days. And it works really well for a 4-day setup. In the torso limbs variation, we'll end up moving arms onto our lower body day. This will allow us to target some of the inherent weaknesses of the upper-lower split. We'll start off with a program walkthrough where I'll share everything you'll need to know to run the program yourself, including exercises, sets, and reps. Then we'll talk about the weekly layout, or how to spread out the days across the week. And finally, we'll talk about the pros and cons of this torso limbs upper body split. Alright, let's do our program walkthrough. This is Dr. Swole's 4-day upper-lower torso limbs program. It's a low volume program well suited for a beginner or someone who responds well to low volumes. We've got upper body day 1, lower body day 1, upper body day 2, and lower body day 2. Here are the exercises, and there are the sets and reps. At the bottom here, we have the total number of sets for each workout, so you have an idea of workout length. And down here, we have the total number of sets for each muscle group each week. Let's get started. We'll start off with upper body day 1. Barbell bench press for the chest. We're doing 3 sets here, and we're using a top set back off method. So you're going to work up to 1 top heavy set of 5 to 8 reps, followed by 2 back off sets of 5 to 8 reps with about 10% lighter weight. The top set back off method is nice because it allows you to get in some heavy, high quality work with that top set and still get in volume with those back off sets. Then let's go on to incline dumbbell flies for the chest, 2 sets of 8 to 12. This will give you a bit of upper pec targeted work. After that, neutral grip lat pull downs for the back, 3 sets of 6 to 10. Then we have chest supported rows for the back, 3 sets of 8 to 12. After that, cable upright rows for the side delts, but also the traps, 3 sets of 6 to 10. Then we have machine lower raises for the side delts, 3 sets of 12 to 20. And finally, leg press calf raises for the calves. We're using a MyRep scheme here, so you're going to work up to 1 main set of 8 to 12 reps, followed by 5 mini sets of 3 to 5 reps, with about 10 seconds of rest in between all of these. This technique allows you to stay close to failure on all of these mini sets so that you're really getting the most out of every rep. This is a very time efficient way to train, and I'll approximate this as 4 straight sets. Going on to lower body day 1, we start off with squats for the quads. We're also using a top set back off method here. 1 top set of 5 to 8 reps, followed by 2 back off sets of 5 to 8 reps with about 10% lighter weight. Then we have barbell back extensions for the glutes and hamstrings, 2 sets of 6 to 10. This is where you use a barbell with a back extension machine. I set it around 55 degrees, and it's a great way to heavily load this movement precisely. A lot of people will just do back extensions with very light weights, and you're not actually challenging yourself there. Next, we have Smith machine split squats for the glutes and hamstrings, but also the quads, 2 sets of 8 to 12. This is like a standing lunge in the Smith machine. Then we have leg extensions for the quads, 2 sets of 8 to 12. After that, we have close grip bench press for the triceps, but also the chest, 2 sets. And you're going to work up to 1 top set of 6 to 10 reps, followed by a back off set of 6 to 10 reps. Then we have incline bicep curls for the biceps, 4 sets of 6 to 10. And finally, rope press downs for the triceps, 3 sets of 10 to 15. You'll see here that we've made some modifications to the base upper lower split. We've taken our bicep and tricep work off of upper body day and moved it onto lower body day 1, and then we've swapped it for some calf work. In particular, notice how this will allow you to train your biceps when they're fresh and not fatigued after back training. And it also gives us an opportunity to fit in some accessory pressing and a little bit of secondary pec work. We'll talk about more of the implications of this in the pros and cons. Going on to upper body day 2, we start off with dumbbell overhead press. This mainly hits the front delts, but also hits a bit of triceps and upper pecs. 2 sets, and we're using a top set back off method here. 1 top heavy set of 5 to 8 reps, followed by a back off set of 5 to 8 reps as well. Then we have Smith machine bench press for the chest, 3 sets of 6 to 10. After that, we have Meadows rows for the back, 3 sets of 6 to 10. A Meadows row is basically a bent over single arm landmine row. It was developed by John Meadows and is a great way to overload your back unilaterally. I like this movement as a substitution for single arm dumbbell rows when the dumbbells in your gym get too light. Then we had dumbbell pullovers to the back, 3 sets of 10 to 15. Notice how I've constructed my back training in this program. I have a heavy free weight rowing movement, our Meadows row. Then we have a vertical pulling movement, which functions to be the heavier movement on this day, followed by a chest supported row. The chest supported row allows you to really focus on torching your upper back. And then we have a single joint isolation movement that also puts a big stretch on the lats, dumbbell pullovers. Notice that I've given priority to a horizontal pulling movement on day 2 and to a vertical pulling movement on upper body day 1. After that, we have cable upright rows for the side delts, 3 sets of 10 to 15. After that, dumbbell lateral raises, also for the side delts, 3 sets of 8 to 12, and we wrap it out with some more calf work, machine calf raises. We're using a my rep scheme here as well, one main set of 12 to 20 reps, followed by 5 mini sets of 3 to 5 reps with about 10 seconds of rest in between all of these. Going on to lower body day 2, we start out with Romanian deadlifts for the glutes and hamstrings. 3 sets, and we're working up to 1 top heavy set of 5 to 8 reps, followed by 2 back off sets of 6 to 10 reps. You'll see here that the rep scheme actually changes between our top and back off sets, so adjust the weights accordingly. After that, we have hack squats for the quads, 3 sets of 8 to 12, followed by leg presses, also for the quads, 2 sets of 10 to 15. And then leg curls for the hamstrings, 2 sets of 10 to 15. Next we have hammer curls for the biceps, 3 sets of 8 to 12, followed by dumbbell skull crushers for the triceps, 4 sets of 8 to 12. Finally, we have cable curls for the biceps, 2 sets of 12 to 20. Again, with this segment of the upper lower split, you'll see that we have bicep work and tricep work on this lower body day 2, and calf work swapped for it on upper body day 2. Couple of notes here, you'll notice that this lower body day 1 is slightly more quad focused than this lower body day 2, and this lower body day 2 has a little bit more of a hamstring focus. Lower body day 2 has slightly more of a biceps focus, and lower body day 1 has a bit more triceps in it. Also, you'll see that the upper lower split lends itself very well to building each of your workouts around a main movement, such as a bench press variation, a squat variation, an overhead press, and a deadlift variation. This program could accommodate some basic strength programming in a very simple plug and play fashion. What other splits do you guys want to see me cover? Let me know in the comments below. I am the CEO of Free Hypertrophy Programming on YouTube. Okay, now that you've seen the program, let's talk about the program layout. So I have it set up as upper body day 1, rest, lower body day 1, rest, upper 2, lower 2, and rest. Let's talk about this split a little bit. First of all, when you have an upper lower variation, you always want the upper body day coming in front of the lower body day when they come back to back. And this is because a really tough lower body day could fatigue you for an upper body day coming after, but not so much the other way around. For example, in this program, we had Meadows rows on upper body day and then RDLs on lower body day. If you had a really sore back and glutes and hamstrings from RDLs and you had an upper body day coming after that had back training, you may not perform as well on your back training. Now, this program is unique because of the modifications we made to the upper lower split, where we took arm training off of upper body day, moved it onto lower body day, and then we took calves and moved it off of lower body day onto upper body day instead. This gives us a couple of powerful advantages. First of all, it allows us to train our biceps and triceps when they're fresh. These small muscle groups usually come after pushing and pulling movements on your upper body days, and thus they may be fatigued by the time you get to them later in the workout. Biceps are used in your pulling movements and triceps are used quite heavily in your pushing movements. When you take arms off of upper body day and move it onto lower body day, you'll find that you actually perform better on these arm movements. We also saw a couple of indirect consequences of this. First of all, it indirectly increases your frequency of bicep and tricep training. Since biceps and triceps are used indirectly on pushing and pulling movements on your upper body days, you're actually training them 4 times per week. Also, with triceps in particular, it allows you to move over some accessory pressing movements onto a lower body day, such as our close grip bench press. If you count these quote as a triceps movement, it actually gives you an opportunity to spread out your pressing movements and give some priority to those accessory presses. This can be helpful if you're really trying to bring up your pressing strength. For example, if you were really trying to bring up your bench press, you could bench on your upper body days and then put a close grip bench press as an accessory on that lower body day, counting it for triceps. I really like taking advantage of the frequency aspect of these split modifications, and you'll see that this just gives us more room to play with in terms of our programming. That is, we have more flexibility. Now let's talk about the pros and cons of this 4-day upper lower torso limbs program. Starting off with the pros. This program allows you to train your arms when they're fresh, and this addresses one of the major disadvantages of the upper lower split. As we said, in the traditional upper lower, your bicep and tricep training usually comes after your main pushing and pulling work. In torso limbs, we switch off biceps and triceps off those upper body days so you can train them fresh. Next, as we also mentioned, this modification allows you to increase the frequency of your arm training to 4 times per week. Ultimately, what this means is that you're going to have better overall performance for your arm training, and you will have the opportunity to jack up your volumes for arm training as well. So that means that the torso limbs upper lower split is going to be a good one if you're really trying to prioritize arm growth. Next, this program is very well balanced. When it comes to the upper lower split, one of the other disadvantages is that upper body days tend to be long, and this is because you just have more muscle groups to train in your upper body. What this does is that it makes it harder to actually get in enough overall upper body training, and the upper lower split tends to favor the lower body a bit over the upper body. But when you take your arm training off of upper body day and move it onto lower body day, this evens out the days. That way you're able to give equal priority to both your upper and lower body. Finally, this program gives you some priority to accessory pressing. As we said earlier, when you move triceps around, you also have the opportunity of moving over some accessory pressing movements. Things like close grip bench press or weighted dips. This allows you to fit in more pressing across the week, and it allows you to train those accessory pressing movements when they're fresh and not coming after something like a barbell bench press. When it comes to disadvantages of this program, there really aren't many. If anything, I would point out that there's a relatively low frequency for side delt training. In most of the other 4-day upper lower programs you've seen me put out, I'll usually take biceps and side delts onto lower body days instead of biceps and triceps. And this is because I think that side delts do really well with higher frequencies to accommodate more volume. That being said, this won't be as much of an issue since this is a low volume program, so you don't have that much side delt training overall in total anyways. But if you want to increase the volume for your side delts, you would want to consider spreading it out over more days. All in all, I think this is a very well designed setup, particularly if you want to emphasize your arms, and it also works very well for lower volumes. If you want to run the program yourself, you can find the Excel file in my Facebook group. So find the link in the description below, join the group, and you can download the program for free. If you want to see another example of a 4-day program, check out this video where I share a full program based on the Dr. Swole split. This is a unique combination of the push-pull split and the Arnold split, and it has some powerful advantages even over something like an upper lower. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to transform your physique and your life, and we'll see you next time.